Creating responsive forms is an important part of designing for our current age where almost half of our users are on mobile devices. And in this video, I want to talk briefly about some of the features that we have in RackForms for accomplishing this. So first things first, I have a very simple demo job right here. I just have a body copy and header item, and then a few text fields and a select item. So when I publish this form, nothing special going on here. It is simply our text and our text fields. If I want a mobile version of this form, RackForms comes with an incredibly powerful and simple way of doing that. All I have to do is go up to the job name in my URL bar. In this case, it's job title. And I actually get that from where my job name is set right here. So it's job title. And I just go after the name of the job and I type in a single dash next to the 0 key and I type the word mobile in. Now when I go to my form, you'll notice that I get a mobile responsive version of my form. Now RackForms does this automatically. We didn't have to do anything to create this. Every job that we create gets a mobile ready version as well. And what's really important about this is it's not just, as you can see here, that it's spanning 100% of the page width, so it'll look good on phones, tablets, and desktop. It's that we actually restyle the elements as well. So if you're trying to tap into this form, it's going to be much easier to hit this as a target as opposed to this. Similarly, for our select item right here, it's much easier to use this version than that version with a touch device like your finger. So this we get for free. However, that doesn't mean that we have to use this. We can also hand build a responsive version of this form. And the way we do that is as follows. So again, just to show here, this is the way the form starts out. Again, it looks just like our preview right here. So what I want to do is I want to style my form so that all my elements span 100% of the page width. So the way we do that is, again, two steps. First, I'm going to select my page. And under Form Style Properties, I'm going to check this little box right here. It says All Content Uses 100% of Available Page Width. Now what this is going to do is it's going to set our master div to use, as the name says, 100% of available page width. And already when we do this, you'll notice now that my text spans 100% of the page. However, our text fields right here, our input items, still haven't changed. And that's because we need to set these guys individually. So my text field, I'll have to go and say I want this to span 100% of the page width. And I also want this guy to do the same as well. And finally, I want this guy to span 100% as well. Now when I click Publish Form, now you notice that my field widths all span 100%. Now as a quick hint here, you can see that because we have padding here, 100% is actually a little bit too much. So usually when I'm building forms like this, I'll dial it back down to 96%. And when I do this now, you can see that that's pretty decent right there. I could certainly make it a little bit bigger, but we want to make sure again that it works across all sizes. Now as a quick hint here, if you're using Firefox, we actually have a cool little shortcut here. So I hold down on Mac Option, Command, and M. I'm actually getting a little mobile preview right here. And so this simply allows me to select a size like iPhone size right here, and then I can even select an orientation. This is a really easy and handy way to see what your layout is going to look like. Finally, the last thing that we'd probably want to do this form is change the way my fields look. So again, as you can see right now, my touch fields are a little bit small, right? If I'm using my finger to select these fields, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So there's two main ways that we can fix that. The first is I can simply make my field height bigger. So I could make all my text fields like 22 pixels high, and I can make my text area bigger as well. And now you can see that these would be a little bit easier to touch. However, we have a problem with the select item in that we don't have a height control for select because selects don't really work with height like that. However, we can change this with CSS. So as a starting point, I'd select my page and I'd skip down to my page JavaScript block. And here we can apply JavaScript and CSS code blocks. And I have a couple different presets right here. So I have CSS styles for input fields. If I click this guy, you'll notice in this box right here, we're going to paste in a bunch of code. And now when I publish my form, I get some CSS3 styles. You notice I got a nice rollover state to this, and my select item's been added, gotten a little bit of padding added to it. So here you can see now that now I can go in and I can change my CSS right here and change this to exactly what I want. So I have my input fields right here. I have font size. I can change this to something bigger. My line height I can change as well, etc. And so very quickly then I can go ahead change my CSS, and see exactly what it looks like, and essentially make the same thing again that we saw with the mobile version of the form. Now, why would you want to do this? Probably the biggest reason is that our automated mobile version, while it's going to work great with sortable pages and freeform pages, is not going to work with more complex layouts, or it may not work as well as you like it. So if you have lots of items that are in buckets, or a lot of different floating positions to items, you may find that this doesn't work great, and so you want to custom design your own look for it. And again, that's basically how you do it. So I shall leave it at that. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know at info@rackforms.com.